Shabbat Shalom. We are now in the portion, in the parasha, Pinchas. Interestingly enough, the name Pinchas is, the linguists, the Hebraists, they have discussions about the name. Some of them, they say that it is a foreign name, even a Egyptian name. But some others, linguists like the very well-known Sephardic Ibn Ezra, no? He was one of the greatest Hebraists of his time in the Middle Ages. He came with this P and Nahash, Pinchas, the mouth of the serpent, you know, or the mouth of the snake. And what is interesting here is about the idea, the power about the biting of the Nahash, the serpent. And even in certain, in the medical environment, they have a symbol of a serpent, you know, about healing. And also the serpent is one of the two animals that we see in the Torah that they can speak. One is the Nahash, the other is the donkey. Then there is something special about Pinchas. Pinchas, also I mentioned to you last week that he was the son of Eleazar, the Gadol HaKohen, or how do you say, Kohen HaGadol? Kohen HaGadol. And one of the daughters of Putiel. Who was Putiel? Putiel is a very interesting thing, you know. At least they related with Jethro, the father-in-law of Moshe Rabbeinu, as a Midianite. Then, if that was, I mentioned this last week, if that was true, Pinchas couldn't be a Jew according to our rules today. Why? Because his mother was not Israelite. And he was given one of the greatest honors after this, the Brit Kehuna Shalom. That is and he made from that moment on all the priesthood, all the descendants, that were going to carry the Shalom. And we need to understand what this idea of Shalom brings to us. You know, I am so glad that we have here Dudu with us, Israeli and Hebrew speaker. And also very well, he knows the Hebrew very well. I am so glad. But one of the things here that is important is the word Shalom has more implications than we can imagine. You know, Shalom is not only that there is no word or there is no struggles or anything like that. Goes beyond the idea of cease of fire, and we can call it. The Shalom goes to the understanding that goes beyond any implication from outside, that nothing outside will really bother you. Okay? You will be in a state of totally and sublime, I would say, I will repeat the word peace, but more than tranquility, calm. Okay? There is no struggles in the Shalom. The idea of Shalom disappears. We have never, ever, as humans, we have experienced that. That shalom we have not been able to, we have had maybe a little bit of, in certain moments, an idea, but we have not been in the state of shalom. And the state of shalom goes beyond our understanding today. And given that, why he gives the Creator to Pinchas this special title or a special designation to give it to him, the Kehunah Bris Shalom, the priesthood of peace, the covenant of peace. What he did in order to receive that? What we need to understand is what he was able to stop. He was stopping the destruction of Israel. But many of us, we look at the destruction of Israel as something physical. And this is the problem that when we cannot understand the Torah. The Torah goes beyond the physical, because in Judaism, there is no separation of the physical with the spiritual. That is a Greek idea. The Greeks believe that we are three parts: body, mind, and spirit. But in Judaism, we are holistic. We cannot separate our body from our mind or from our spirit. Everything is one. And we want it or not, wherever we go, we carry on. It's there. How many times I have said to people, if you want to see your real age, go and look at the mirror, and you're going to see all your little bit of wrinkles. But how do you feel inside? You're still the young person that you have always been. Doesn't matter how many wrinkles you have, you still feel young. What is that? That is something that is within you. It's the Ruach. It's the spirit of the Creator in you that is eternal. And what the Creator gave to him is this, that the priesthood is going to bring Israel always the quality of this shalom. This idea that they are going to prosper after, or they are going to continue after this regular life. Many of us, we think a life ended here. And this is all. What I tell people it is, what has ended is your physical part. This body that's physical, this is temporal. This covering your spirit, but your spirit is there, doesn't disappear. And this is something that the Creator was trying to tell through Pinchas to the people of Israel. I stopped the destruction of Israel, 24,000 in the Magefah, in the plague, that were going to be destroyed. That was to indicate to the people that there was destruction for them. But what was the greatest destruction that could happen to Israel? The destruction of the soul of Israel. And that's what was happening. To tell you that this is not a chronological book, only for you, if you say, in verse 15, we read verse 10 to verse 15 in the one portion. And then begins a second portion, I'm sorry, in chapter 26. Listen carefully, in verse 16 say, and then the Lord spoke to Moses telling him, be against the Midianites, and destroy them, exterminate them. verse 15, 16, and 18. Chapter 25. Because they trying to destroy Israel, when they conspirate against it, you, and they make you go to idolatry, to worship Baal Peor. You know? And in reference to what happened to Cosby and and Samir. What I want to bring from you this idea, the Simri and Cosby. Shear is talking something that already has happened, and she's repeating again. And she's explaining why the people died and what Israel needed to do. Then later on in the Parashah of Matot, we are going to see what really happened to the Midianites, and especially what happened to Bilam. He's killed too over there and suffered the consequences. But what is important here about this shalom and this Magifah or plague and destruction of the people of Israel? I mentioned to you last week, Israel cannot be destroyed by any human power, but Israel can be destroyed by themselves. And the Creator has an infinite patience and mercy to us. He constantly is telling us, you know, come back, come back. That's what we call it teshuvah. We are pretty soon we are going to get in. Now we are in the month of Tammuz, you know, and we are getting closer to the high holidays. And there is always a calling from Him. What is more important about success or to do it right? What is more important? You know, to get everything in this world and to live a life that is uplifting. We have heard about men that have done wonderful things. You know, that they are being recognized and they have gone too early. And we ask ourselves, is the Creator unfair that takes those good people away from us? Or what is happening? I hear Dudu Rason saying something very interesting. Maybe my brother was too good and he needed to go. Yeah. I had a similar experience with my oldest brother. And the only thing they could see about the justice of the possible presence of the Creator, because we don't have answer for this, I say, my brother was too good to live in this difficult life. But those who are stay here, we have a responsibility. And look at what happened with Israel right now. Because this portion is for Israel, counting Israel, what is happening after every time that they do something, they suffer consequences. Let me ask you this question. If somebody tells you, don't do this because you are going to hurt yourself, and you do it, who are you going to blame? The one that told you don't do it because you're going to be hurt? Or you need to take the responsibility, say, that happens to me because I disobey. But we are in this world in which we point our fingers always to somebody else. We blame everybody else for our own actions. We do not take responsibility for that. And Pinchas needed to stand up, because when Moshe Rabbeinu received the order from the Creator to stop it and tell the judges to stop these people who are doing that wrong, no one did it. Why? Because there were two important people. How the judges are going to stop the top of the top? Politically, it was not correct. And needs to come a young man who has a seal for the Creator to stop it in the moment. And when he stopped it, the plague went away. Why he did it? Because he didn't care too much about what other people are going to say. He cared about what the Creator is going to say. Many of us, we live what I call a fictitious life. We live by appearance. To us, it's more important what other people think about us than what we think about ourselves. To us, it's more important what other people say than what I am and I believe what it is. I see, and you young people, please excuse me when I say this, but I see more and more the young people almost without their own, I would say, their own identity. They copy. And they copy and copy and copy. They cannot be themselves. You know, Psalms 139, Tehillim 139, say, we have been made in marvelous ways. And we are uniquely made, and there are not two of us alike. Pinchas was unique and no alike anybody alike him. And we don't need to imitate Pinchas. We need to be ourselves. But being ourselves has a cost. Because sometimes we cannot go with the flow. I always like to bring this illustration about the ostrich. You know, the ostrich is a very fast animal. And the lion, doesn't matter how fast they can run, they can never catch an ostrich if the ostrich run over. Really, poor lion fall with heart attack trying to catch the ostrich. But what the ostrich does? What is the mentality of the ostrich? He looks for a hole, put his head there, and like in Spanish we say, ojos que no ven, corazón que no siente. The eyes that don't see, heart doesn't feel. And then he put his head in the hole, and he say, now everything is dark, you know? Nobody can see me. No? And the lion has the best meal that they can have. Now, how many of us we are like that? We are against the Pinchas type because they are the zealotry. They are the ones that take action. And by the way, doesn't mean that we need to kill everybody or anything. That's not what the principle is teaching here. Here is acting, like you say, Peggy, is we have other ways. We need to speak out. But you have learned about the cost of standing up for what is right. The great majority is against what is right now. And we have a plague. And we have a spiritual plague, we have a moral plague, and we suffer of indecency all over the world. And you know what is the saddest part? That most of us, we are imitating. We are imitators. We are accepting what the majority say. Because if I go against what the majority say, I will be the odd. And the Creator is calling us to be the Pinchas, those who were going to bring real peace, not destruction in this world. Then this message is not easy because many people can misunderstand that the only way that you can stop something is by force. But one of the things that today we have been given is the character and the quality of speaking out and not accepting everything that is being told. It's no majority who are right. Totally the contrary. One of the greatest mistakes in the world has been the so-called democracy. Because you say, democracy, majority rules. But have you ever thought about this? Is majority always right? This is the question that all of us we need to ask ourselves. Then, the example of Pinchas, the mouth of the serpent, spoke in a very clear way to tell us we are with the Creator or against the Creator. There is no middle ground, one or the other. And this has nothing to do with being religious, please. This has nothing to do with being fanatic. Please, understand that. This is what to do to be upright and to be a tzaddik, to be a righteous person. Shabbat shalom.